Welcome back. Some more cards that we plan on submitting on for grading. We're starting to go ahead and get started. This has always been kind of a cool thing. I think they still do pre-releases, but I don't think they do them in the same fashion that they used to, where they would write pre-release on the card. Sorry, having a hard time getting that out. I don't really pre-prep the cards anymore since we're just doing them in sets of 10. Now this one was definitely like played. It's really weird that there's evident scratches in the hollow foil, but there's almost no whitening or anything on the card itself. Very interesting. The centering's actually really good. It is a shame about the hollow foil scratch. Granted, this is that older Watty hollow foil, so it comes off really easily. It's just really weird that there's almost no other wear anywhere else on the card, on the front. Let's check the back. We've got some minor whitening. Now, to be honest, I have sent cards. Now that's a little So we're going to CGC it. If it was just as it was from the front, I was about to say PSA it. The centering, though, is really good. And I was going to PSA it because, in my case, at least from my little bit experience from the PSA so far, the PSA does not seem to care too much about scratches on the hollow foil if it's not like super deep. Up next, another king jar. To me, this is a dope king jar. I mean, I say I'm not into things that are overdone, but I do like these hyper rare cards. I like the fact they're slightly textured. The rainbow is a little bit much. I mean, it's cool. I like the textured factor is what I really like. Now, I don't see anything crazy evident on the front. Centering is off. It's thicker on the left than it is the right. It's always really hard for me to see any sort of issues on these cards just because of how they are. Say we're probably in the PSA 9 category right now based on centering and very minor issues. Man, this is hard because the centering is more evident on the back, and it's very weird centering. I think I'm still going to PSA it. I wanted to say BGS, but I think this will be better off PSA. The centering doesn't look so bad on the front. On the back, it looks a little messed up. I'm going to say PSA 8 to 9. That's a tough one, though. Next one up is a Espeon. Now, I don't remember doing a full close look up at this card. The issues I've always had with Espeons for the most part is almost every Espeon I ever handled has had some sort of damage. I don't know what it was, but everyone treated their Espeon cards so rough, including myself. I think that's meant to be like that white. It's really hard to tell the one sitting on the hair fluff. I couldn't feel anything go to peel off when I went to scratch at it. I'm not feeling like there's anything missing. I'll make note possible major white dot error, and it's really hard because the one wax thing I do to figure out if something is a part of the card or not is hard because of where the white is. It's on the Pokemon itself versus like somewhere in the writing where the wax is a bit stronger. Now again, as I said, I almost never get Espeon that isn't damaged. There's some surface scratches. There's a very interesting hollow foil pattern for me in terms of it being different. There's definitely some minor scratches in the wax, but if you didn't I'll do a further pull out. You can see when you're not so zoomed in, you don't notice these things. And if I showed it under a different light, not under this super bright fluorescent light, you wouldn't notice the scratches. So you notice the scratches now because the card's a lot closer. I mean, in terms of relativity, look, you can see the details on my thumb. So that's kind of what you're seeing. You're seeing a very zoomed in version of something. So it seems really heavy. It's heavy in my opinion. This is really, though, the degree you need to look at things now. There's a big nick right here. We're already kind of moving probably immediately to that CGC category. I'd argue Espeon of any era is probably worth grading, and yeah, we're going to just CGC this. I probably would have PSA'd it if it wasn't for that. We'll CGC it, and I think that might be a white dot error. I'm actually going to look up more on this card, but I don't think that white dot is supposed to be there. At the same time, it definitely isn't, like, nothing peeled off. So I will write CGC, and I will write white dot error. But yeah, I don't know if it's just me in the region I live in or what, but like almost always, the Espeons that I find are always damaged, and like usually really heavily damaged. Now this is in your condition. That's pretty nice. This may have been for my personal collection, to be honest. Centering's not looking too bad. It's looking pretty good. A little bit thicker on the left than the right. Scratches on the hollow foil. Again, this is that older Watty hollow foil. It's very, very easy to scratch. So that's nothing huge. I'm not seeing any sort of typos or anything. It's good. So there's some whitening on the corners. That's about it. The whitening's a little bit more severe on this corner, though, for sure, than the left corner. I'll still PSA it. However, I'm not going to BGS it, and I don't think it's super beat up to the point that it needs to be CGC'd. Now, because the whitening's so bad in the one corner, I could probably say PSA 7. And it's borderline, right? I'm going to say flat 7. I don't. When I say borderline, I don't mean it's borderline 8. I just think it's kind of borderline to the point where if I send it to CGC, it'll probably still get only like a CGC 7. So you might as well send it to PSA and get the PSA 7. It could get lower than a PSA 7, but whatever. Okay, so this has more damage than I'd like. This someone took like a mechanical pencil and really rubbed it in. I mean, I think you can even see that. Yeah, so you can even see that damage when I'm zoomed out. When damage is apparent when you're zoomed out, you're kind of already sitting in that PSA 6 to 7 category, probably closer to 6. I mean, that's some pretty severe damage. Which is real shame. There's no scratches in the hollow foil that are super deep. The centering looks almost perfect. In the back, there's like super minor whitening, a little bit of a nick up here. If it wasn't for what's going on in the center, I would say PSA 8 category, really. See, if I hold it like that too, this is what you'll get to sometimes a lot on eBay or when you meet up with people. Facebook Marketplace, in my opinion, actually is probably worse than eBay in terms of scams, but you get a lot of pictures like this. You get a lot of pictures like this. You'll get some pictures that are like this and like that. And you won't get one that's just like this. And granted, the light kind of ruins it, but they won't show you that. And that always is kind of old. Man, this is borderline, to be honest. We'll CGC it. it'll re-come up in a CGC grading in video. And you know, I didn't pull the CGC cards out. Gotta keep the CGC separate from PSA and BGS. I haven't had a BGS card yet, or you know, decide to send from this stack. We started to have that more of a pattern. Let's see if this card changes the game. To me, this is a very cool card. I like when they do the smaller series runs, or at least to me it is. It's not really, it wasn't a series that I was really aware of. I guess it wasn't smaller series. It had 115 different Pokemon. But to me, the background's really cool with the hollow foil. There's definitely, I don't know if that's on purpose, because it splits right with the Pokeball. I don't think that was on purpose. Usually their transitions are very smooth. I would argue that's not smooth. It's very interesting. This is an Unseen Forces Gligar, holding on to like the side of a cliff before he jumps. Almost this one like he's kind of afraid of heights though. Centering's off left to right. Top to bottom's fine. Scratches in the hollow foil, but minor in my opinion. Minor whitening. I could see this still pulling a PSA 8, so it's still a PSA card. I will write down possible hollow foil error. So I think PSA 8, possible hollow foil error. Up next is Zekrom. This Zekrom is from Plasma Freeze. Come here. Dang, that's really hard to get into. There we go. Most of the Zekroms I've had have been pretty near flawless. This has a misprint line, but in terms of, like, people don't seem to play their Zekroms, which, you know, that's fine. That is just a print run line. Centering's a little off, a little bit thicker on the left. Interesting text choice down here. Interesting, very interesting requirement. If Reshiram is on your bench, this attack does 40 more damage. It's a very interesting requirement. I mean, I've seen cards with weird requirements, but that's just interesting. That was kind of a gimmick. Weird requirements was kind of a gimmick for certain cards back in the day. So it was really interesting to see it come up on a sort of back in the day card, not sort of back in the day card. And you can see too, this is after WotC was no longer doing cards. You can really feel a difference in this card. You can see, even on the camera, a slight waxing difference. The wax isn't as smooth. And it seems to almost be like, it's almost like slightly separate from the card. It's a pretty good condition card. We'll do some zoom ins, we'll do some 2.5s. I'm seeing some corner stuff going on, but it's nothing crazy. The reason why I'm zooming in is I am considering sending this card into BGS probably. Some minor scratch there. For the most part, just the print run line, I think that kind of still puts us into like a BGS 9, BGS 8 category, which is fine. Zekrom to me just looks more like a Digimon than a Pokemon. It is what it is. I think this will be a BGS submission. And Zekrom's not a huge card to send in, right? Like, as I said, doesn't seem like a lot of people play him, so he's just kind of there. And most of the collections I've come across with Zekrom tends to be in pretty good condition, so probably one of those ones that everyone held on to, and there just isn't really a huge value to it, but it's whatever. All right, Alolan Persian GX. I believe this is actually a pull of mine. looking pretty good. Centering's looking good, top, bottom, left, and right. That's pretty good. The back is looking smooth. So this is when that card quality picked back up. Wow. That's super smooth. That's definitely BGS. Probably BGS 10, if not Black Label. That was a smooth card. Next up is a Shining Legends Zekrom. Definitely, in my opinion, a little bit more cooler scene going on, a little bit more intense. Centering's a little off left to right. Top to bottom's fine. This legendary Pokemon can scorch the world with lightning. It assists those who want to build an ideal world. Pretty intense. All full. Everything looks pretty good except for centering. There's some whitening there. Everything else is really good. To be honest though, I might think it falls short just a little bit for BGS. So it's normally somewhere in the PSA 8 to 9 category. And I think we'll just go from there with that one. Make sure you're guessing the grades in the comments. Obviously, you're only going to be able to guess the grades for the ones that were going ahead and push forward with submitting when availability. These others, the CGCs and BGS, will fall into later videos for those submission categories. Up next is a Incernatus VMAX. This I did pull. It's from Darkness Ablaze. Kind of hard to believe that set already came and went. This is the realities you have to deal with, though, with even your own pulls, guys. So you've got significant damage on this bottom corner here. Really sucks. Rest card looks great. Rest card looks great. And then damage here. I was only aware of this damage here until just now when I was getting ready and saw this. So that's rough. Because this alone here kind of put me in that 8 to 7 category. This puts me to send to the CGC category. Really beautiful card. This was a pull by me. What's upsetting is this came in a sealed booster box, not a pack. This came in a booster box that was sealed, and it had no signs of damage, so it was really strange. Yeah, it's really apparent there. It's really upsetting. And top corner, and there's some sort of guarantee to where like the Poke servers or whatever will replace cards that are damaged from fresh pack pulls, but like you have to have like so much information to do it, and so I'm just not know. It was too much to try and get something replaced, and it really sucks too because it was really only that card that came like that. It's in a way earlier video. Well, thanks for watching, and you like if you liked the video, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks. Bye.